All right, now let's create a spawner or a control object just to have the dynamite fall out of the sky. So I'm just going to go in here to objects. I'm going to right click and say create object. I'm going to have no sprite. This will simply be a invisible sprite. I'm going to say obj underscore control. I could just as easily call it spawner because that's what it's going to do. I'm going to add event, which is a create event. I'm going to grab a piece of paper from the control menu and drag it over. And the first thing we're going to work on doing for these two things, this just sets an alarm. So I'm just going to say initialize. Alarm, brackets, 0, and again, these are square brackets, equals random underscore range 90 to 150. Okay, so what that is the frame rate is 30 frames per second for this as default. So this is 3 seconds and this is 5 seconds. So every 3 to 5 seconds, alarm 0, at least this particular time, alarm 0 is going to go off. I'm actually going to recopy this, so we're going to have it repeat again and again and again. So I'm just going to go Control C for copy, and then I'm going to go down here and add event. And in alarm 0, which I've got to create, I'm going to grab another piece of paper. And with this other piece of paper, I'm going to say Dynamite spawns. And then we're just going to use an instance create. Instance create. We'll solve this x, y here in a minute, but for right now, I'm just going to put in x, comma, y, comma, obj, underscore, dynamite. So he creates a piece of dynamite, I control V, and he resets his own alarm. So think of this as a snooze button. He just sits there and hammers the snooze button. All right. So now every 3 to 5 seconds, a piece of dynamite is being created. And that's good for right now. And so I don't forget it, I'm going to go down in room 1. I'm going to go objects. I'm going to go down to object control, and I'm going to click it somewhere in the room. It really doesn't matter what. If it doesn't have a sprite, it shows up as a little question mark in a blue circle. All right, so there we go. In room 1, we've put our control object there. Dynamite is being created. However, Dynamite's not doing anything. So we got to go to Dynamite and code it a little bit. I'm going to go and add a create event. And in this create event, I'm going to go to control. I'm going to drag a piece of paper. And I'm going to say, again, initialize. First of all, I want the Dynamite to fall. So V speed, which stands for vertical speed, is equal to this is going to be anything reasonable amount of speed here. I'm just going to put for right now +8. +8 will drop it, go down the screen, and that'll be good. Here's a little tricky part here. I want to spawn at the top of the screen, so I'm going to say y equals -10. That may sound weird, but we remember our y value is 0 at the top of the screen, so I'm just going to have it spawn at the top of the screen. And then I'm going to use that random part again. Okay, x value is going to equal to random underscore range. And in this particular case, I want the left-hand side of the screen to the right-hand side of the screen. So I'm actually going to put in sprite underscore width, comma, and I'm going to put in room underscore width minus sprite underscore width. Okay, so I'll make this a little bigger so you can see it. But the basic concept is he'll fall. The y value always starts at the very top of the screen. The x value should start from one sprite width, which is just over here to the left somewhere. His width is 32, so it'll anywhere from 32. And then the room width is 1024, so anywhere from 1024 minus 32 over here to the right. So he should fall one way, shape, form, or another there. And that's all that should happen. Whoops, going to cancel that. Going to hit check mark. Going to hit check mark. And going to cut it loose and keep my fingers crossed here. So with that control in, what we should have here is we should have Dynamite spawning and falling down the screen every 3 to 5 seconds. So 1001, 2002, there's goes ones. And there's one fell, just went down the screen, no problem. There's one fell, went down the screen, no problem. And that's probably all we'll do for today in terms of our random. We saw them come up over here. Hopefully a time or two they would show up over on this right-hand side. I'm pretty sure we got the coding right there. But you get the, yep, there's one. Get the basic concept of how to make Dynamite fall. Good enough.